Kojak, 1973 to 1978, captivated audiences with its tough, no-nonsense detective and gripping crime stories, becoming a staple of 1970s television. But over 50 years later, have you ever wondered what happened to the cast that brought this iconic show to life? In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the lives and careers of the Kojak stars, exploring where they are now in 2025, how their paths have changed, and what they've been up to since the series wrapped up. Join us as we uncover the fascinating stories of the Kojak cast, then and now. Telly Savalas took on the role of Lieutenant Theo Kojak in 1973 at the age of 51, delivering a memorable performance as the tough, street-smart detective known for his bald head and ever-present lollipop. Kojak was a symbol of gritty New York law enforcement, blending sharp wit with an unrelenting pursuit of justice. Savalas's career was marked by highs and lows, with his portrayal of Kojak becoming a defining moment, though it overshadowed his earlier successes. His personal life was marred by turmoil. Despite 3 marriages, Savalas struggled to find lasting happiness. His first 2 marriages ended in divorce, and his relationships with his 6 children were often strained by his demanding career and personal demons. The actor's later years were shadowed by his declining health and the heartbreak of losing his beloved brother, George. By the time Savalas succumbed to bladder cancer on January 22, 1994, at 72, he had lived a life of public adoration but private sorrow. Daryl Swirling portrayed the methodical medical examiner Agajanian in Kojak starting in 1973, at the age of 45. Agajanian was a character of immense precision, bringing a calm, almost clinical detachment to the chaotic world of crime-solving. His forensic insights often served as the linchpin in many of Kojak's cases, making him an indispensable part of the team. Despite this professional steadiness on screen, Swirling's off-screen life was far from serene. His acting career, though studded with memorable roles, never catapulted him to widespread fame, leaving him largely in the shadows of Hollywood's elite. His personal life mirrored this quiet tragedy, marked by a brief, turbulent marriage that ended in an acrimonious divorce. The couple had no children, a point of regret he reportedly carried throughout his life. Daryl Swirling passed away on April 11, 2014, at 85, his final years shrouded in obscurity and his death from undisclosed causes leaving fans with more questions than answers. Fraser began portraying Captain Frank McNeil in 1973 at 52, embodying the role of a disciplined, by-the-book captain who often found himself at odds with Kojak's more maverick approach. McNeil was a steadying influence on the team, though his own struggles were hinted at in his nuanced performances. Fraser's acting career, though lengthy, peaked with Kojak, and he found it challenging to secure substantial roles afterward. His personal life was deeply affected by tragedy when he and his wife, Lillian, lost their only child, a devastating blow that they never fully recovered from. The pain of this loss permeated their lives, causing periods of withdrawal from public life. In his later years, Fraser lived quietly, dealing with the ongoing grief and the waning recognition of his earlier fame. He passed away from cardiac arrest on December 16, 2011, at the age of 90, having spent his final years away from the public eye, remembered quietly by those who knew him. Kevin Dobson, at the age of 30, brought youthful energy to the role of Detective Bobby Crocker in 1973. Portraying the eager and idealistic young detective learning the ropes under Kojak's seasoned guidance. Crocker's character was known for his loyalty and determination to prove himself, traits that Dobson carried off with natural charm. Dobson's career trajectory, however, faced ups and downs after Kojak, with notable roles becoming increasingly scarce. His marriage to Susan Dobson was a source of both support and strain, especially as the couple navigated the challenges of raising 3 children, one of whom suffered from a chronic illness, adding emotional and financial stress to their lives. The weight of these personal challenges, combined with the fading of his career's golden years, took a toll on Dobson's health. He died on September 6, 2020, at the age of 77, due to complications from an autoimmune deficiency. Nick Dennis took on the role of Constantine in 1974 at the age of 70. Constantine was a vibrant and resourceful character whose street smarts often provided crucial leads for Kojak. Dennis had a long but largely unsung career in Hollywood, frequently typecast in stereotypical roles that never truly showcased his depth as an actor. Despite a rich filmography, he remained largely overlooked by the industry. His personal life was equally sorrowful. He married late in life but never had children, a source of deep regret for both him and his wife. Their marriage was strained by Nick's long absences and his struggle with alcohol dependency, which stemmed from his disillusionment with his career. In the twilight of his life, Nick battled declining health, succumbing to natural causes on November 14, 1980, at 76. His passing was quiet, much like the understated but poignant life he led. George Savalas played Detective Stavros starting in 1973 at the age of 49. Stavros was known for his warm heart and steadfast loyalty, often bringing light moments to the gritty world of Kojak with his endearing quirks and humor. Savalas' career, however, was marked by constant struggle for recognition beyond the shadow of his brother, Telly Savalas. His role in Kojak was his most significant, but the pressures of living up to familial expectations weighed heavily on him. Off-screen, George faced tumultuous personal challenges. He married twice, both marriages ending in heartache. His first marriage dissolved after only a few years, with bitter custody battles over their two children, Maria and George Jr. His second marriage was plagued by financial woes and infidelity rumors, further eroding his happiness. In his later years, George battled leukemia, a fight that left him physically and emotionally drained. He passed away on October 2, 1985, at 60. Roger Robinson portrayed Gil Weaver from 1973, starting at the age of 33. Weaver was a composed, insightful detective, whose quiet intelligence often unraveled the toughest cases. Robinson's acting career had its peaks, with critical acclaim for his stage performances, but the highs were often followed by long periods of professional drought. Despite his success, his personal life was riddled with tragedy. He never married, having lost his fiancée in a tragic car accident just weeks before their wedding. The loss cast a long shadow over his life, leading to years of isolation and depression. His health further declined in his later years, plagued by a severe heart condition that left him frail and dependent. Roger passed away on September 26, 2018, at the age of 78, his final years marked by solitude and the painful echoes of his past tragedies. Bruce Kirby took on the role of Sergeant Al Vine in Kojak starting in 1973, at the age of 48. His character was a dependable and pragmatic sergeant, whose straightforward demeanor and unwavering dedication made him a stalwart presence in the precinct. Kirby's real life, however, was a stark contrast to the stability his character exuded. His acting career, though long and varied, was marred by periods of underappreciation and typecasting, leaving him often in the shadows of more prominent actors. Personally, Kirby endured a string of challenges, including a deeply unhappy marriage that ended in a bitter divorce. He fathered 3 children, one of whom, Bruno Kirby, followed in his footsteps into acting but tragically died young, a loss that haunted Bruce for the remainder of his days. Bruce Kirby passed away on January 24, 2021, at the age of 95 due to natural causes, his life a tapestry woven with both professional dedication and personal sorrow. Alan Manson portrayed Lieutenant Steve Nicola, stepping into the role in 1973 at the age of 54. Lieutenant Nicola, characterized by his stern demeanor and authoritative presence, often found himself in tense confrontations with Kojak's unorthodox tactics, symbolizing the friction between rigid law enforcement and progressive approaches. Manson's career saw a series of peaks and valleys, with Kojak being his most prominent role, bringing both critical acclaim and public recognition. Yet, off-screen, Manson's life was plagued with heartache. His marriage to actress Eleanor Parks was fraught with discord, ultimately culminating in a bitter divorce after 30 years, leaving behind 2 estranged children, James and Julia, who grew distant as family ties frayed. The last years of Manson's life were shrouded in solitude and declining health, leading to his passing on March 5, 2002, at 83 from an undisclosed illness, marking the end of a life shadowed by professional triumphs and personal anguish. Tai Andrews took on the role of Sergeant Gino Palucci in 1974, bringing his seasoned experience at the age of 54 to a character renowned for his tough, no-nonsense approach and an unyielding quest for justice. Andrews's career was a journey through a myriad of roles, each reflecting the gritty determination he brought to his craft, yet never quite escaping the shadow of his role in Kojak. His personal life was a tumultuous sea of fleeting relationships and unresolved familial conflicts. His marriage to artist Norma Thornton, although initially filled with artistic collaboration and mutual support, ultimately ended in a painful separation. The couple's 3 children, Barbara, Kevin, and Leonard, struggled to maintain a connection amidst the emotional turbulence. Andrews's life ended on January 27, 2007, at the age of 86 due to cardiac arrest, a somber conclusion to a life that bore the weight of professional respect and personal despair. Ken Kirchhoff, who played the slick and morally ambiguous character of Teddy McClay in Kojak starting in 1973 at the age of 38, became known for his ability to portray characters entrenched in shady dealings. On screen, he was a figure of wit and resourcefulness, but in his personal life, Kirchhoff faced significant struggles. His relationships, particularly his marriages, were often tumultuous, and his connection with his children was strained, leaving him feeling emotionally distant from his family. Despite his success in the entertainment industry, Kirchhoff's personal life was fraught with sadness, as he battled with feelings of loneliness and isolation. The emotional turmoil of his personal relationships weighed heavily on him, affecting his overall happiness. Kirchhoff's health began to decline in his later years, and he passed away on April 21, 2019, at the age of 83 due to pneumonia. Carol Cook began her role as Marie Stella on Kojak in 1977, when she was 53 years old, bringing depth and empathy to the character, who served as a source of emotional support and guidance for those around her. Her portrayal of Marie was well received, showcasing Cook's talent for playing strong, yet vulnerable women. However, behind the scenes, Cook's life was not as fulfilling as her performances. She married actor Tom Troop, and their marriage lasted for many years, but it was strained by the pressures of their respective careers. Though deeply committed to her work, Cook never had children, which led to a sense of personal regret, especially as she aged. Despite her popularity, her later years were marked by loneliness, compounded by the loss of friends and family members. Carol Cook passed away on January 11, 2023, at the age of 98 due to heart failure. Jerome Gardino portrayed the bartender starting in 1974 at the age of 51. As the bartender, he was a kind and observant character, often providing vital information to Kojak and his team. Gardino's career, however, was marked by a long string of supporting roles that kept him in the shadows of Hollywood fame. While his character on the show was warm and dependable, Gardino's own personal life was fraught with disappointment and heartache. His first marriage ended painfully when his wife left him for another man, and his second marriage, though initially hopeful, dissolved into neglect and emotional distance. His relationship with his children deteriorated over time, and his attempts to mend these broken bonds were unsuccessful. As the years wore on, Gardino's health declined, and he became increasingly isolated from the entertainment world. He spent his final years living in near obscurity, quietly battling illness. Jerome Gardino passed away on January 4, 2020, at the age of 96. Stephen McHattie played Ray Blaine starting in 1974 at the age of 27. Ray Blaine was a tough and unyielding detective, committed to justice with a relentless drive that McHattie embodied perfectly. However, despite his powerful performances, McHattie struggled throughout his career to find lasting success. He often found himself cast in minor roles, which left him feeling unfulfilled and overshadowed by other, more prominent actors. His personal life, too, was filled with struggles. He married an actress early in his career, but their marriage was marred by constant separations due to his work, and ultimately ended in divorce, leaving McHattie emotionally scarred. His battles with alcoholism worsened in the years following his divorce, further alienating him from both his career and his family. At 77 years old, McHattie remains active but is largely a forgotten figure, with his career having been derailed by his personal demons and a series of missed opportunities. Charles Kimbrough played Assistant DA Greg Burton in Kojak starting in 1975 at 39. Burton was a principled and dedicated prosecutor, known for his strong moral compass, which often clashed with the more corrupt world around him. Kimbrough's career flourished early on, but his personal life suffered, particularly in his marriage to Susan. Their relationship deteriorated over time, in part due to Kimbrough's devotion to his work, leaving little room for his family. Their two children, Michael and Rachel, became distanced from him, especially when his son struggled with addiction. Kimbrough's own health problems in the late 1990s, including a serious heart condition, further strained his personal life. Despite his accomplishments, Kimbrough's final years were marked by sorrow and regret. He passed away on January 11, 2023, at the age of 86, his death attributed to undisclosed causes, leaving behind a life filled with professional success but marred by familial struggles and health issues. James Louis played Captain Henry Hank Rousseau on Kojak starting in 1973 at the age of 45. Captain Rousseau was a tough, authoritative figure who often clashed with Kojak's unconventional methods, mirroring Louis's own battle between personal and professional life. While his acting career included notable roles, his personal life was filled with difficulties. His first marriage ended in a painful divorce, and his second was marred by infidelity and mistrust, resulting in another failed relationship. Louis had two children, but his emotional distance made it hard for them to stay close. Despite his professional success, his life was overshadowed by family turmoil and regret. Louis passed away on June 7, 2002, at 73, after a brave battle with cancer. His death marked the end of a career and life filled with both achievements and deep personal struggles, with his legacy overshadowed by the emotional distance he had from his family. Kenneth McMillan played Lieutenant Becker in Kojak starting in 1976 at the age of 44. Lieutenant Becker was a tough, no-nonsense character who often found himself at odds with Kojak's more unconventional methods, yet he always upheld justice with a sense of fairness. McMillan's career in Hollywood was steady but never quite reached the heights expected of him. His personal life was overshadowed by his struggles with alcoholism, which contributed to the breakdown of his second marriage to Patricia. The couple had two children, Emily and Sean, but the family was torn apart by McMillan's addiction. His liver disease, a consequence of years of heavy drinking, led to his early death at 56 on January 8, 1989, leaving behind a troubled but memorable legacy. McMillan's passing marked the end of a promising career that had been marred by personal demons. Leonardo Chimino played Ruby Kabelski on Kojak starting in 1974, at 57 years old. Ruby was a wise, experienced character who often provided important insights. In his personal life, however, Chimino faced great hardships. His marriage to actress Esther Rall was filled with emotional turmoil and ultimately ended in divorce, leaving him heartbroken and struggling with loneliness. In his later years, Chimino faced financial difficulties despite a respected career in television and film. His declining health, exacerbated by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, worsened his emotional state, leading him into isolation and depression. The emotional pain he carried was only made worse by his health struggles. Chimino passed away on March 3, 2012, at 94, a man whose later years were filled with grief and isolation, overshadowing the acclaim he once enjoyed. Sidney Clute portrayed Barney Sullivan on Kojak starting in 1973 at the age of 57. Barney was a steady, dependable detective who was always committed to solving cases with methodical precision. Clute's personal life, however, was marked by significant struggles. His marriage to actress Dorothy Green ended in divorce, which left him emotionally devastated. In his later years, Clute was diagnosed with cancer, a battle that consumed him physically and emotionally. The decline of his health made him increasingly isolated, and his career came to a quiet end. Despite his years of service in the industry, his death on October 2, 1985, at the age of 69 came after years of personal and physical suffering. Clute's legacy is marked by a career that was both respected and burdened by his personal pain, leaving behind a story of resilience in the face of adversity. Victor Argo played Joseph Crespi in Kojak starting in 1973 at the age of 39. Crespi was a gritty, street-smart character who found himself entangled in the city's criminal underworld, often assisting Kojak while struggling with his own moral conflicts. Argo, known for portraying tough characters, faced numerous personal challenges that mirrored the complexity of his roles. His first marriage to Linda ended in a painful divorce after 12 years, and he was left to raise two children, Michael and Sophia, largely alone. Struggling with alcoholism, his personal life was filled with turmoil, and his career, though steady, never brought him the fame he might have hoped for. Argo's battle with alcohol took a toll on his health, and in the early 2000s, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. After a long and difficult fight, he passed away on April 7, 2004, at the age of 69. Vincent Bega portrayed Arnold B. Saxler starting in 1974 at the age of 37. Saxler was a cunning and strategic character, always manipulating situations and navigating through complex plots with ease. In many ways, Bega's personal life mirrored his character's complexity, filled with turbulence. Although he initially found success on Kojak, his career stagnated due to typecasting, and he struggled to break free from playing similar roles. His personal life became a series of misfortunes, including a tumultuous marriage to Carolyn Meyer. The couple had two children, but their relationship deteriorated due to Bega's alcohol dependency and personal demons. The collapse of his marriage, coupled with financial troubles, led to a period of isolation. By the time of his death on May 9, 2017, at the age of 79, Bega's once promising career had dwindled, and his life ended in solitude, weighed down by regrets and the scars of his past. Jason Wingreen played the first reporter starting in 1973 at the age of 53. The first reporter was relentless and curious, always striving to uncover the truth, a characteristic that mirrored Wingreen's own personality. Despite his tenacity on screen, Wingreen's career never gained the traction many had expected. He was often relegated to smaller roles, unable to break into leading parts, which led to personal disappointment. His two failed marriages weighed heavily on him, and his relationships with his children were strained as he struggled with mental health issues, including depression and anxiety. Wingreen's financial difficulties added to his sense of isolation, and his emotional struggles left him disconnected from those closest to him. After a long career, Wingreen passed away on December 25, 2015, at the age of 95 from natural causes. His final years were marked by quiet reflection, the weight of missed opportunities, and the emotional toll of a career that never fully realized his potential. Charlie Pickerney began his tenure as the savvy taxi driver cabbie in Kojak in 1973, at the age of 38. Cabby was a streetwise character who often found himself inadvertently pulled into the dangerous world of crime solving, his resourcefulness and local knowledge making him a valuable asset. Off-screen, Pickerney's life was marked by a roller coaster of professional highs and personal lows. His career spanned decades, with stunts and acting credits in numerous films and TV shows, yet he never achieved the household name status he longed for. His personal life was equally fraught. A long-term marriage that appeared stable from the outside was, in reality, a facade for deep-seated issues, leading to an eventual separation. Pickerney had two children, both of whom distanced themselves from him due to unresolved familial tensions. As of 2025, Pickerney, now 89, lives a solitary life in quiet retirement, reflecting on a career and personal life filled with missed opportunities and lingering regrets. Raymond Singer entered the cast of Kojak as Dr. Moskowitz in 1975, bringing youthful energy to the show at 27. Dr. Moskowitz was the epitome of compassion and medical brilliance, always eager to lend his expertise to the police force, a beacon of hope in the grim world of crime. Singer's career flourished initially, with roles that showcased his range and depth, but the harsh realities of show business led to a decline in prominent offers, pushing him towards lesser-known projects and the harsh reality of fading stardom. His personal life mirrored this decline, with 2 marriages ending in quiet disillusionment. His children, David and Samantha, remained distant, adding to his sense of isolation. As of 2025, Singer, now 76, lives a reclusive life in a small town, battling the ghosts of a career that promised much but delivered little, a stark contrast to the hopeful character he once portrayed. Catelyn Adams, who took on the role of Sheila in Kojak at the age of 25 in 1975, played a character who was often embroiled in morally complex situations, mirroring the emotional complexity in Adams' own life. While her career took off with a promising start, Adams faced numerous personal challenges that overshadowed her professional achievements. Her marriage, like many in the entertainment industry, ended in divorce, and her relationship with her children was strained, largely due to the pressures of her career and emotional struggles. Though her talent was evident in her performances, Adams often felt disconnected from the success she experienced on screen. She faced emotional struggles that led to periods of loneliness and introspection. Now, at the age of 74 in 2025, Adams lives a more private life, far from the public eye, leaving her with a legacy that is both bittersweet and full of quiet resilience. Harrison Page began playing Quaid, a tough, street-smart character, on Kojak in 1974 at the age of 33. Quaid was known for his resilience, navigating the challenges of the streets with wit and toughness, much like Page's own life. While his career gave him steady roles, Page's personal life was a turbulent affair. His first marriage ended in divorce, strained by emotional neglect, and his second marriage also crumbled due to infidelity. Page had 2 children, but the emotional distance he created made it difficult for them to maintain a close relationship with him. In his later years, Page withdrew from the public eye and lived quietly, often reflecting on the mistakes that led to his fractured personal life. Now 83 years old, Page lives a solitary life, looking back on a career overshadowed by deep personal regret and strained family bonds. Louise Sorel played Janice McClay on Kojak starting in 1974 at the age of 34. Janice was a sophisticated and determined character, often involved in complex and emotional storylines. She portrayed a woman who balanced ambition and morality in a tough world, yet never quite reached the level of fame she deserved. Sorel's career spanned across television, but her personal life was fraught with difficulties. Her first marriage ended in divorce due to emotional neglect, and her second marriage was similarly short-lived. Despite having 1 child, the estrangement from her family left deep emotional scars. In her later years, Sorel became more reclusive, retreating from the public eye and finding solace in her work, while grappling with the loneliness and heartache of her past. Now 84 years old in 2025, she lives quietly, far removed from her past fame, reflecting on a career shadowed by personal struggles. Pepe Cerna portrayed Rudy Diaz in Kojak starting in 1975 at the age of 31. Rudy Diaz was a street-smart informant, offering vital assistance to Kojak and his team, yet his charm often masked a deeper complexity. While Cerna found success with notable roles in television and film, his career was often limited by typecasting. His personal life was marked by struggles, including a painful divorce from his first wife, actress Maria Lopez, after 8 years of marriage. He had 2 children, Carlos and Isabel, who experienced the emotional toll of their father's career and the instability it caused in their family. As Cerna got older, his life became more isolated, and he was consumed by regret over his strained relationship with his children. Now at 80, he lives a quiet, reclusive life, haunted by the broken family bonds and the career that never quite lived up to his early potential. Sally Kirkland played Clara on Kojak starting in 1974 at the age of 33. Clara was a compassionate, resilient character, often providing emotional support to those around her. Kirkland's career blossomed through the years, with notable performances in both film and television, including an Academy Award nomination for her role in Anna, 1987. Despite her professional success, her personal life was troubled. She was married to actor James Wilder, but their marriage ended in divorce amid infidelity and personal turmoil. She also struggled with loneliness, addiction, and the challenge of balancing motherhood and an acting career. Despite her hardships, she had a son, and has been open about her battles in interviews. At 83, Kirkland is still active in the industry but continues to carry the weight of those personal challenges, often speaking candidly about her emotional struggles. Michael Delano played Delano starting in 1973 at the age of 33. Delano was a resourceful and sharp character, deeply involved in solving intricate cases and often using his intelligence to aid the team. Delano's career, however, didn't reach the heights his talent suggested. He struggled with typecasting, finding it difficult to land more complex roles after Kojak. His personal life mirrored the challenges of his career, as he faced turbulent relationships and the breakdown of his marriage to Diane McKay. Together, they had a daughter, Emily, but Delano's growing struggles with alcoholism and depression caused a rift between them. His finances became strained, and his acting opportunities dwindled. By 2025, Delano, now 84, lives quietly, far removed from the spotlight he once enjoyed. Despite his earlier potential, his life remains a testament to the emotional and professional battles he faced, leaving behind a legacy marked by unfulfilled promise. Who is your favorite character from Kojak? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.